Hello, online pipe community. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here. Today we've got another Parsimonious pipe, and we're going to talk a little bit about Middle Earth. Today's pipe is a Briarlee Canadian. Some carving on that. Nice pipe. In it, a bowl of Granger. Thanks to Ed Hobbs. Thank you so much, Ed. The only time I'd had Granger before the sample that you sent me, it was really dried out. So I didn't really have a fair chance to evaluate it. This stuff was in good condition when it got here, and I have kept it so. And we'll talk about that next week. So let's take a look at this lovely little pipe. As so often happens, this one mostly needed a cleanup. You can see some of the grime built up on top and how that is different and reveals some grain patterns, mostly blotchy grain on this. It's a second line after all. Looking down into that bowl, you can see that I did ream it back quite a bit. These pipes are all well broken in. I have no qualms whatsoever about being able to build up just a tiny bit of protection carbon in there. The rim had just some caked up lava on it. Not really much of a char on top of the rim. You can see that cleaned up pretty well. Three little carved spots to match the carving on the sides. What you will notice is that the rim of the bowl is a little misshapen, which is extremely likely due to heat, but the rest of it cleaned up pretty nicely. The stem, as you can see, it's not in focus here. It was very lightly oxidized and came out nice and black. And finally, a quick look at the internals. It was dirty. Whoever smoked it before enjoyed smoking it with the stinger in, apparently, and that cleaned up very nicely. Remind you guys, if you get pipes with stingers and they need cleaning, if you wrap a bristled pipe cleaner around that stinger, the threading, with a good soaking in rubbing alcohol, that combination will get those threads really clean. May not help you break that stinger loose if it's a removable like this is, but it will help you get a lot of that gunk off of the stinger itself. For $24 and change, I really can't complain. It's a nice little Canadian. It's the first Canadian Briarlee that I have found. I've got a couple of them in the main Pipes by Lee brand, but this was the first Canadian in the Briarlee. So now I have just another piece filling out my collection. Piper's Mantel is having a 500 sub giveaway. He is a fantasy writer, and in order to qualify for the giveaway, he would like you to tell him who your favorite Middle Earth Lord of the Rings character is and why. Now, there are lots of characters that I absolutely love. I mean, of course, everybody loves Gandalf. But then you've got, all of your brave soldiers, your steadfast hobbits. Each of those characters has something that I find very attractive about them. But my favorite character in those books, I find nothing attractive about. My favorite character in those books is Gollum. Gollum is mean and nasty. Gollum is selfish. Gollum is hyper obsessed with his precious. Gollum reminds me what I can become if my focus becomes fixed on something, even something good, that isn't where my focus should be. See, there's nothing inherently bad about the ring that Gollum is focused on. In fact, it's a ring of great power. You could do wonderful good things with it. But it's a corrupting item. And that item is different for each of us, but it's easy. It's easy to focus so much on one thing, particularly as a Christian, that I take my eyes off God and worship something else other than Him. So maybe that's a surprising choice, but he's my favorite character because I'm very sympathetic to him. From the first time he was introduced, I felt sorry for him. I thought, boy, we could all be there, couldn't we? So I hope that satisfies your curiosity regarding my favorite character. Folks, give him a VR. Let him know what's your favorite character and why. His link will be down below. While you're doing that, light something you like. Enjoy the afternoon.